make you feel really comfortable about belonging here. That is key.
This is the venue that's going to provide me some opportunity, and I'm very optimistic.
Launch My Agency is going to have that one thing that stands out that's better than the rest.
The experience here has been it almost feels like a little family. It's really cool, especially being here today. You see the camaraderie, you see how everything is so natural, and that's how everything has to be in business. It has to flow.
Everything, start to finish, clean, professional, and really good group of people. Great presentations and super classy event.
My experience with Launch My Agency thus far has been awesome. I feel like it's been a healthy balance of me learning a lot, but then also me being able to put things into practice because questions have been answered.
Rooms like this is what really builds the best businesses out there, right? It's like having that tight-knit community, using each other for help in different domains and different areas. Welcome back. In today's video, we went all out. Our clients flew in from across the world, and not only did we bring in one, but we brought in 7 different clients this time, which one of them even pulled up in his own Ferrari, which was all possible because of our $1 million agency system. We even brought in some of our 7- and 8-figure earning friends who dropped a massive amount of value for our clients and partners, which you get to experience all for free. So get ready, because I promise you, after watching this video, you will not be the same. Okay. Let's go.
All see across the room, X marked on the spot, everybody tryna zoom. This is casual, another night with the wolves, but I should be dealing with them, she's a damn professional. Making plays for, don't need to be told, yeah she knows. Got these fellas down bad and everybody else mad. Adrenaline rush, leaving them in the dust.
Most people, they make the biggest mistake of viewing marketing by itself, sales by itself, client fulfillment, and operations by itself. It's one thing, if you want to scale.
It's the hinges, small hinges that swing the big doors. So make sure you have something that you can implement. Set an intention for the day. What is it that you want to get out of it? Because we're going to go over quite a few different things, and sure, you're going to learn some stuff, but make sure you have a specific intention of what you want to take out of it to go implement. Because that's the thing, action is what moves the needle forward.
She's got everyone's attention.
This is one of the things that we want to touch on as well today, is working with people versus just trying to do it yourself. A big theme that you guys will see is we have a pretty strong team. Like, you guys will start noticing when you guys start talking to me and Christian, we're like opposite people. Like, our personalities are different, but then when we come together is where the magic happens, right? 1 + 1 = 11.
This place is just great. You can connect here with all of the people. As Zarar said, he called Gordon, they work out together. Every conversation that you have in this building, you can learn something from it. There's value in every single conversation.
So at 23 years old, we were at 8 figures we were doing, and at 23, and everything just collapsed.
We were just around each other, and at some point, somehow we just ended up together. Like, it was just us two out of everybody else, right? All the friends and all the acquaintances, it just somehow we both came together. And sometimes just how the universe works, you just gotta be able to find those partnerships and then really dive into it.
Yeah.
The beginning is always a process, right? For the first 6 months, we were spending, between $1,500 to $3,000 per month in ads, and got nothing for 6 months. And then 6 months, finally, we were able to land our first client. And then from there...
Well, from there, the moment we landed our first client, we did 24 grand in 2 weeks.
Life has an interesting way of teaching us lessons, whether it's good and the bad, right? It brings us the hardships in life to be able to teach us how to appreciate the good. Because everything came down kind of at the same time. The businesses were going downhill. I had some personal stuff going on at home.
The conversations we had, right, at that time was like, okay, let's give up. Then what? What do we do? We had no answer to that question. We didn't. There has to be a way out. So we sat down and we were like, I remember some of those calls, we were like, okay, the one thing we have no one can ever take away from us is our skill set. And so far, we've landed over 350 clients, and some of them, overall, we've helped them make over $28 million. Same exact system that you guys get access to. And here we are right here now. Yeah. This is in our building. That's the 3 of us there.
nos hablamos pero no nos vemos. Baby, hace tiempo que yo estoy.
We were talking about earlier about the videos, the personal videos, and getting personally involved as the CEO. On the other hand, you don't want to do all the work, and it's good to have setters and closers involved. But how do you draw that fine line or walk that fine line between letting the closers do work, or and when do you throw in those videos?
Yeah, that's a good question. So what I would do is, with us, your closer is probably in your Slack channel, right? So if he's in your Slack channel, what you can do is you can create a custom video for him, right? And that can be a general video to all your prospects, okay? Like a pre-call video, or just like a 30-second video if you just explaining who you are and saying that, hey, XYZ closer, or like whatever his name is. Suppose it's Jake is taking your calls. So suppose he's your closer. You can be like, he's my right-hand man. He's gonna be able to handle you really, really well. He's gonna be taking you throughout to take you to your journey, wherever your goal is. And then that closer, all he's gonna do is he's gonna take that video and he's gonna send it to the prospect, and he's gonna tell him, hey, Simon just created this personal video for you, okay? And he told me to just send this over to you. Boom. That's the same way. So remember how we spoke about duplicating Zarar? That's exactly what I do.
Yeah, and then also, Simon, you can do it at a pretty high level too. Like, till today, I still make some videos. I don't know, you guys might have gotten some videos personally from me calling, even Anissa did? There we go, latest client, and she still got it, right? It takes 20 seconds. But how did you feel when you got that video? Did you feel?
Yeah, it's like, it's targeting me, and it's not just like a generic.
The last thing someone wants to feel like is they're just another buyer or just another number on the, yeah.
Well, I just think it's a great idea doing those personal videos, but without having to actually put in all the time and do all the closing calls.
Yeah, you don't have to, but see, that's the thing, right? You're the face of your brand, you're the face of your company, and one of the biggest things you guys will see in our marketing, I'm the face of Launch My Agency, I'm the face of it, right? So we want you guys, and we position your offer based on your strengths and your skill sets for a reason, because we want to celebritize you as that authority, basically pre-sell people onto who you are, so that way it becomes a lot easier, right? Because everybody else, what they're doing is they're just selling services. They're just like, yeah, I offer Facebook ads. What's the first thing someone asks them? How much do you charge? But when you're one of one, how dare they ask that? They can't, right? Because like they really need something from you versus the other way around. So that's one of the things, is like positioning you as that top shelf choice comes from how you package your offer. And the video example, I mean, you can shoot, I mean, even to 100, 200 grand a month, you can personally shoot every single video if you want. Or you could be like, as long as you're looking at the application, because we have an application, you can just make one generic video with the closer. Be like, hey, I just saw, you don't have to call the name out. You say, I just saw your application. I can't, I chatted with XYZ closer about you, and I can't wait to personally potentially be able to work together. You want to always like pull back the offer because you're not sure if you're going to be able to work with them. So you can make one video if you want and just have the closer or the setter send that over. Personally, Mo just makes me do a lot of videos, or we have 4 closers actually. So I tell the closers like, hey, anytime you feel like someone needs that extra thing, I'll make a video. So I'll make a minute or 2-minute video. So, and then we just deliver it.
Digital marketing agencies, at the core of like the pure fulfillment, there's only so much things that you can do. Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO. There's nothing really special about that. So that's why, what do you bring to the table? How can we craft that offer? So in our copywriting that we do internally for you as a CEO, or Shook, if Zarar's gonna write it, we don't even talk about the services. It's like, what is the value that I can present to your company? That's what we're looking for. And that's how exactly. Because the fulfillment, very simple. It's
the
like,
vehicle doesn't matter, right?
Exactly.
Nobody cares about Facebook ads. Nobody. All they care about is, I have a problem. What's the quickest, fastest, most efficient, cheapest way for me to get from point A to point B? That's all they care about. Whether it's Google ads, whether it's email, whether it's door knocking, they don't care.
So like
right? So
one of the ideas that I came up with, and please correct me if I'm wrong, or if this is not a good idea, let me know. I always thought about maybe running a survey to my niche, to auto dealer owners or GMs, and said, hey, what is your biggest problem? Tell me. Give us some options and see what the survey says. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, tell them about the research you did.
Man, I spent I was hopping on sales calls. I was like going through every single ad. And then I had a whole library of each of our competitors. I probably have more things than the CEO himself has. Like I have all their ads, I have all their landing pages.
Tell 20 GMs, good luck, you're not going to get a hold of them. So that's what I'm saying. Run ads where they can target.
I mean, you can. I don't think you honestly you need to. Like, oh, you can if you want to. I personally would just try to figure out a way to maybe get you the GM, if not one person lower. But you start getting a sense, you start seeing patterns. All you have to do is talk to 3 to 5 people. You're like, oh, this is what's going on. And then you take your experience, package it.
What we've done in the last few weeks, I'm a diabetic and I have high blood pressure. My blood pressure hasn't been this normal in 4 years. 120 over 83 yesterday. I'm taking medication for it, but even with the medication, it's been high. I'm so focused on what we're doing here and the camaraderie that you guys bring along with these people. It's a good thing.
I love it.
Wow.
That's what we're going for.
I've never heard of that.
I'll tell you what, this is exactly.
I smell myself an ad.
You about to put something out of business, man.
Wow.
I can't name anyone.
I think when you find the right kind of group, when you guys come along, when you guys show a lot of experience and you come down to earth and speak on a different level, it's very helpful. And I can see it.
What my question is, the level of service we are doing to them is how much it is limited or not, how much capacity, because there's a lot of tons of things we can offer to get his business. And what are the limits there? Like web design or internal other questions, or there's a certain templates for them?
Yeah, I think I'm going to cover this a little bit more when I talk about client success. So we give you the skeleton of how to fulfill, right? Because fulfillment is just purely the exchange of what is expected. So if you say if you're going to do Facebook ads, fulfillment is simply giving them Facebook ads. But you want to build on top of that, and the way you do it is not necessarily like listing off services and thinking what can you give. It's like what other problems do they have that I can solve? And we'll talk about that a little bit more because there's different ways you can do it. You can do it in your initial offer of stacking on different things that you can provide that solve the problems that they have, or you provide an offer that solves a problem that creates another one. So what happens is, like for example, car dealerships, if you're able to get them really good appointments, now when they're getting these calls, how can I qualify them better? Or how can I make sure that they show up to the call? Or how do I train my sales team to convert more people? Right? So now you created one problem from another solution that you just provided. So long-winded answer, but there is different things that you can do. And again, the reason we give you the skeleton of fulfillment is so you as the owner can think about what would you like to do. Because by doing more stuff, it does complicate it. Right? And there's more management to that.
Yeah. It's like the same philosophy of what we have you guys go through. It's the same thing. What's the 10% that I can give all the launch my agency clients for them to do to get the 90% of the results? Yep. Same concept for your clients, right? Because you want them to also feel like, oh man, this is all I have to do is this? Perfect. Versus this, like we want to simplify and make, we want to simplify the time as well, like try to extend it to as quickly as possible. So yeah, a couple different factors. Christian's going to cover it very in detail in the next presentation.
Fulfillment is just the carrying out of a task or a duty as expected. So when we think about fulfillment, think about it as like the bare minimum of what you need to do, right? Especially as digital marketing agencies, you've got Facebook ads, Google ads. So when you agree to work with a client, you've got to fulfill on the very basic level on what we need, right? So in order to have a business that wins in all departments, you have to reverse engineer the way that you look at the business model, which again is the whole reason of why we reverse engineered the way we presented the agency today. And we started with client success, because you want to think with the end in mind, right? What does fulfillment look like on a very basic level? And then how can I build on that? So again, in our modules, we teach you the bare minimum skeleton of how to fulfill for your agency and the services for your clients. Now it's up to you guys as the owners, with your vision in mind, what do I want to come out of that? Right? What else can I build on it? And each of you have your own strengths, like we've been talking about throughout the day.
So there's really only 3 things that you need to master in sales. Number 1 is you have to master the mindset of selling, of closing, and persuading and influencing others. It's a mindset. I'm going to share with you guys exactly what you need to focus on when closing. Number 2 is you need to have a bulletproof script. The biggest mistake that I see when I work with sales teams is that I come in and their sales reps are all doing different things. If you don't have a repeatable system for your sales guys to close, then one day they're going to be closing 40%, the next day they're going to be closing 10, 15%. You're not going to know what's changed because they don't have a script, they don't have a formula. So I'm going to give you guys my formula. And then lastly, once you have the mindset and the script, sales doesn't work unless you work it. So you need a workflow. You need something that your people can plug into to consistently stay on track for hitting their projections.
So let's talk about the mindset. First principle here is that selling is serving. Once you get this, selling becomes easy. See, I know a lot of people, anybody heard of call resistance, right? You're afraid to pick up the phone. You're like, man, I just don't want to pick. If you have call resistance, then you're selfish. You're focusing on yourself. You see, if you shift the perspective, even in public speaking, they say public speaking is one of the most feared things by humans. And one of the easiest ways to get out of that is by shifting the perspective from yourself to the others. What's in it for them? How can this call change their life? And so the number one thing I would recommend to you as a business owner and to your salespeople is to make sure that you take the time to review client wins every single day. If you want to close more deals, get more convicted, increase your conviction. The second thing is get more clear on your target.
For the record, I'm done trying to make y'all comfortable. For the record, you ain't trying to grow, then it's done for you. For the record, lab on me going all the way. For the record, ain't trying to link, no time to waste. For the record, 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 for the record. Been a little too.
All right, so we're gonna go over, if we were to start all over again, how to get from 0 to 100 grand a month.
And it'll vary on your vision too, depending on what you want from your agency, the way you want to structure it, how involved you want to be. Because there's some agency owners who ideally want to be hands-off, completely delegate to a team. There's some people, for example, like myself, who I did like the communication. I enjoyed the client success part, so I didn't mind being more involved. So it really depends on what your vision looks like, but we'll give you the framework and the step-by-step from a high level, right? Because there's a lot of stuff that will be done for you within our process, but for you to still understand the philosophies and the mind behind it, I think that's what we're going to really.
Absolutely, very key point is like, you guys have our help. It's like we've taken the arrows in the back for you. We've hired the team, leverage them, but this is just some things for you guys to know of like, oh, this is what it takes, right? So first and foremost, when you're at $0, not only are you at zero, but mentally, it's a big part of, I think maybe some of the things you guys, probably got out today is not only like business specific skill sets of like marketing or sales. A big part of it is how we think and like how we are as human beings.
I think it's just a matter of speed and how can we get there the fastest. Yeah. Revenue generating activities is one thing you'll hear us constantly preach, especially in the beginning. What can I do now to generate revenue? Because that is the ideal behind it, especially in the beginning. You just want to get your first client because that's how you prove the system. Once you get the first client, then you just get the second one.
The fastest, quickest way in the beginning, referrals. Friends, family, is like, pick up the phone. We know people, trust me, especially the people who are here. You guys have a lot of other industry experience. It's like a lot of people, everybody at the end of the day wants to be more successful. Anyone who's in business, they want a bit bigger business for the most part. So it's like right there, those are your clients. And it's all about it's all a trust game, right? So it's like, let's leverage those people, especially in the beginning. Get that first one client. Not only does it give you that confidence and that like, oh, click, it's just a check mark in your head, but it gives you that experience because what you believe right now, if you don't have a client, what you believe in is very different than when you actually land a client. It's a little different than we may think, right? Would you see? And then once you land one, you're like, I can land 5, 10, 20, 30, the sky's the limit from there, right? And another thing that it does is it gives you a little bit of money so that you don't have to personally keep investing, in the tools. Some of these small little expenses do add up. And I know the psychology that it is, right? We've launched so many other businesses. When you're bleeding cash, man, sometimes it's like, when is this ever even gonna happen? Like all this downwards momentum starts to go in. So it's like, momentum is momentum. Let's just try to, increase it by getting that first yes. First yes, let's get 1 or 2 clients in. And like I said about the money thing, anyone can get some sort of funding, right? You can get your 10 grand a month, honestly, probably tomorrow. If you really sat down. A big part of it is clarity, right? We talked about this, like even the sales calls, when you ask the right type of questions, you get the right type of answers, right? You get the clarity that you need.
Connor, how's your experience been today so far?
It's been fantastic, honestly. Everything start to finish, clean, professional, and really good group of people. Just connecting and kind of putting like a real life, relationship between people. Because, it's all digital up until this point. So just being able to connect in person has really been helpful and nice.
Do you feel like kind of met your expectations or like exceeded expectations?
Yeah, exceeded, I'd say.
Yeah.
great presentations and super classy event.
Before coming to this, my first initial thought was about the e-commerce business. And I was looking around, and then I found I searched about some other digital agencies. Then, after going to interviews and different Zoom calls, I found Launch My Agency perfect fit for me.
That's awesome. And so how's your experience been so far with Launch My Agency?
Yeah, so far it's so great. I have been seeing a team support, and I'm just here. I still see the CEO. Everybody is just here with us to back us up, and with a very confident. And we have the whole resources and knowledge. It's just to step in and do, the job.
Yeah. So obviously you got the VIP CEO package, right?
Yeah.
What made you pick that package over the CEO package?
Initially, I signed up for a CEO package. After just going through to do some due diligence over the knowledge, experience, and what gives me the Launch My Agency, I realized there is a lot of opportunities with Launch My Agency. There is a lot of resources. There is a good team of experts. So to gain their more support. In addition, that's why I got more inclined to get the VIP package.
The biggest challenge that I was facing is finding the right system that was going to get me to where I needed to get to. For the last couple of years, I had actually found some systems that promised that they were going to help me launch an agency, but I never saw that being fulfilled as a whole. There was something always missing, either the lack of follow-up on the company's behalf, or on the lack of execution or holding me accountable. Everybody needs to be held accountable, no matter how good you think you are at your own craft. I think there's a level of that. So when I saw the ad from Launch My Agency and the way that I interacted with John and the ad that came through, and then eventually talking to Zarar, it kind of sold itself, and I'm really happy to be aboard.
What do you feel like is different from them though? Because I know you said you bought into other programs, like what's different with the LMA?
It's the hand-holding and the accountability, maybe the guarantee that if it doesn't work, even though you put all your effort into it, that they'll help you launch it no matter what. I think that's a very key thing. That's very hard maybe sometimes to promise, but if you put your full effort into it, I think you're gonna come out on the other side doing very well. These people, I think, speak from the heart, and they really care about your success. And as a marketer and as an agency owner, you have to care about the product and the solution that you're going to provide your client, just like these guys are providing me as their client. I think that's very important.
It's been awesome working with everyone. My success coach is Chris, and he's been on me as far as making sure that I'm doing the check-ins, making sure that I have access to all the tools that I need, that I'm self-reliant, that I'm looking first before asking a bunch of questions. And then all of the calls are awesome with regard to the little clinics, because we can get one-on-one help from, for example, Gabe and then Zarar. So it's really nice to connect with everyone. Not only the coaches, but then also the people who are actually in the agency, because all of them have a lot of experience in their own little different fields. And it's really cool to just, flow with all of them and get these creative juices going.
Yeah, so my experience with Launch My Agency thus far has been awesome. I feel like it's been a healthy balance of me learning a lot, but then also me being able to put things into practice because questions have been answered. So certain things, I've learned, how to structure my offer, how to write the offer, but you go into things being put into practice and put into action, their marketing message, worksheets, the type of exercise that they have us doing were, you see the end result when you're looking at brands and things like that outside of your own brand. Like, oh, that's how they came up with this. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. But actually learning how to do it yourself, being taught how to do it, and then being able to have those documents yourself as a resource to use for future and things like that is absolutely huge. So yeah, those are what I really like about, that's what I've loved so far, is being able to put things into practice and as well, learning.
So if you liked what you saw, the cars, the community, the team, the people, the experience, and most importantly, the value, and you'd like us to potentially launch our own digital marketing agency for you while working with myself and my executive team, then go ahead and book your call down below with my partnership director, who will be able to see how we can help you and your specific situation. For the rest of you guys watching this video, stay tuned for our next VIP CEO Day, because it's gonna be even crazier.